Okay. Should we start it? Oh, I should have drafted my Discord message first. I always do that. Second. Oh, whoopsies. Let's start the music back up. Let's check my levels one more time. Okay, I could definitely afford to be louder. That should be good. That should be pretty good. Okay. Do that. And then we will get the... Oh, okay. Well, just discovered an OBS feature. Let me get the link to my stream here. Still can't get my hands on that link. Here we go. That should do it. Okay, yeah, there we go. And then I guess I still have the stream starting soon thing on there, so that should be alright. Oh, does that link work? I don't think that link works, does it? Oh, it does. Okay, nice. And then let me see if I can try again to find my actual comments. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh, right. It's still private, isn't stupid. Okay, let's try that. Hopefully that works now. Probably don't need my phone's volume on. Actually, speaking of this, I should probably have it charged while I'm not using it. Stuck pretty good. Now I gotta go retrieve a cord. Oh god, that's really in there. Oh man. How did that happen? Oh, whatever. Okay, yeah. That should be good. Hopefully that is the end of my technological incompetence. Feet, yes. Glad the only comment here is feet. Oh, that's good as shit. I don't remember what I was saying now. But yeah, hopefully, my technical incompetence will hopefully not impede us any further tonight. What let's do? Tab. Oh, maybe I should turn that on. No, I shouldn't. So I'm just going to give people a couple minutes to filter in, just in case they plan to. I'm not expecting a big turnout tonight, but what is this? I actually don't remember this track. Oh, I think this is from online. Yeah, it is. Okay. Cool. I wouldn't recommend eating the art, given that it is just electronic data. I guess because it's just electrical signals, it would probably be fine, right? I guess that'd have to be a question for someone else. I'm not sure how advisable it is to eat digital art. I've never tried, so I really got nothing. That's true. You can eat anything once. Some things can only be eaten once, but once is enough. Oh, is stream chat working? I don't think it is. No, it is not. Well, that's a good thing to have caught now rather than later. Chat. And then go here. There we go. Okay, chat works. That's cool. Oh god, this is I don't have this labeled as wilds, do I? I hope not, because I do have a stream preset for that. No, okay. For a second, you scared me. I thought that you were excited for a wild stream, but no, I don't have one. Okay. What's the beta date again? Is it like 16th? I think. Isn't that what it is? February 16th. I think it. Oh, is it the 9th? I thought it was like weirdly close to the release. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I think the PlayStation people get it the week before. I think that's what it is. And then that would make sense for that. Okay, so it is the 9th. Okay. Okay. Well, can you check also if that's like the PlayStation? Because I know for the first beta, that's what they did. They just made the they let the PlayStation players on like a day early. I think they got an extra day or something like that. I know, right? Look at all this art that I'm making right now. Yeah. Speaking of which, I guess I feel like I've given people a couple minutes. I think I'm ready to start. I really wish I could have my chat like pop out so I could just see it all the time. As it is, I just have to kind of have my phone open with the stream, and that's hopefully good enough. Oh, well. Whoops. Whatever. I can probably honestly just get rid of that layer entirely. How is sound, by the way? I imagine there's probably going to be a lot of thumps because I'm just going to absentmindedly put my elbow on my desk. But I'm in a completely new setup now, so I kind of want to make sure that the sound is alright. People can hear me, music's not too loud compared to me, everything like that. Oh, okay, we got some more people coming in. Cool. It does kind of look like a long coral Pookie, now that you mention it. It wasn't super intentional, but I mean, I guess it makes sense because they're both, you know, goofy poison monsters. So they share a lot of DNA, so it makes sense why they kind of coincidentally ended up looking like each other. And then for the Kazu, so the way it normally works, I don't have like a concrete date or anything on when I'm going to do certain monsters, because it's just not feasible with all the stuff I've got going on. Because I'm already like not doing great with time management with school, so I'm not going to say when I'm going to do any particular monster. But the ones that get like commented a lot are more likely to get done like sooner. Gypsaros was actually next in the order that I had, but I think part of the reason I did Gypsyros and not like Iodrome or something is partially because Iodrome would have been redundant because I had just done Gendrome. I'm pretty sure it's Gendrome. But yeah, I didn't want to just do another one of the Raptorial Bird Wyverns like right out the gate. But the comments had requested for Gypsyros like several times. Because, and like I acknowledged in the video, like he's ugly, and he's ugly on purpose. And I mean, I had a lot of people in the comments saying like he wasn't ugly, and I think they're wrong, but they're only wrong because they're using ugly in a different context than I am. So yeah, I guess all that is to say is Kazu comes when Kazu comes. That's kind of it. So yeah, I think I've commented this a couple times, but I don't know if I've said it anywhere like big and noticeable to my audience. But I have actually had the Rathalos designs like sketched since before I even did the Velocidrome video, and Rathalos was actually going to be first because I thought it would make for a great like clickbait first video. But then I kind of decided that I liked the idea of doing stuff in order, especially because I think, in my mind, a lot of people wouldn't tune in if I had done, like, smaller, less exciting monsters right after a big, exciting monster, especially as of my first episode. Like, I thought there would be a huge drop-off. So that's why I still haven't done Rathalos, even though he is technically, like, ready to get started. I have like, what I want to do pretty well set out, actually. So I mean, and so if any time he gets like Rathalos gets in the comments like requested a lot, he'd be easier to start than some. It really doesn't cut out that much time because ideation is honestly the least time consuming part of making these videos. Rath's wife is Rathian. Oh, okay, never mind. So I already got it. And with the delay, I'm late. So yeah, Diablos is another one I kind of don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Like I have some vague ideas, but Diablos is very much open for me. I don't have plans for Diablos. Okay, so but yeah, so getting started like I said I was going to. So it's been, I think, like 3 months since I did the last mini Monster Mender stream. I was just trying to come up with 2 slightly different versions of Aptonoth. So I kind of want people to, in the chat, let me know how they feel about the like subtle differences between these 2 designs, so that way we can kind of get started on making the finalized portrait. So I also want to make it abundantly clear that I'm hoping that people like aspects of both designs, and we can kind of mix and match the 2 to make like the best version of all of it. So let's find, why is this brush so fat? But basically, the main things I'm looking at are like is my pressure working? Okay, no, my pressure is working. This brush is just weird. Okay, let's get a different brush. I think I like that better. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so anyway, these, the main things that I'm looking at to see if what people prefer is the legs, the shape of the crest here, and there's some very slight difference in the muzzle too. Honestly, with how inconsistent my art is, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell if there was a difference. And then the tail shape is different. And then I tried adding a little fin underneath the horn, like you'll see in a lot of old Parasaurolophus art. But yeah, so, and yeah, these are very, very minor differences, but I guess they're just kind of what I'm working with, because I'm working on a monster that I think is pretty successful, so I don't feel like it needs a lot of change. So the alternates are not going to be nearly as extreme as they will be for, say, actually you can't see that, can you? You might be able to. Oh well. Let's try. Mender. Okay, you can't see that, I don't think. No, okay, you can't see my files. I was actually curious about that because it's recording my window, not my screen. So let's see, where is the... Oh, that's not it. But like, yeah, not everything is going to be as varied as, like, say the Gypseros sketches. You can see that I was trying a lot of different stuff. I'm trying to get those open right now so I can show you. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Okay. Clipsedio's having a little bit of a fit. Come on. There we go. Oh. Then sketches. Yeah, here we go. You can see if we go over here. So I had some pretty different ideas while I was working on Gypseros. I had these two frogs that I was going to try because the basilisk is born from the egg of a toad, or sometimes it's a toad, sometimes it's a serpent. Doesn't truly matter right now. But yeah, I've obviously went totally different with these because they're a different monster class entirely. And then when I was asking people about what kind of stuff they liked and what I should proceed with, they kind of decided on a mixture of these two, which is obviously why I ended up with a snake wyvern. And this is something like you could have picked up on in the video, but it was like never mentioned. This design here, or I guess this is the same design. This design here is actually based on the Groucho Marx glasses. And so are these. Or I think that B actually was another snake in a can, and then this was the Groucho Marx glasses that I was trying to make into a monster. But for those of you who've seen the video, which I assume everybody in here has, maybe they haven't. I don't know. Yeah, I ended up with snake in a can. So yeah, back down to these. Those like little tiny features I was talking about. What do you feel? We had one person who liked the first one. Like, overall, it sounded like you said Ashiad. Is there anything from the second one that we should put into the first one? Or yeah, I guess. I'm going to number them correctly because that's going to be confusing. There we go. That was a weird music transition. Hello! How are you? Oops, I just kicked my desk. I'm sure that was very quiet on your end. We are back with Aptonoth. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with the slightly different versions I have here. And figure out what I want to proceed with. Because, I mean, these are obviously very similar, and they haven't changed much from the original, because I think that Aptonoth is pretty good how it is. Oops, shouldn't have left it over there, my bad. I think maybe just in the interest of having stuff that's been changed, I'll just do mostly the first one. So, okay, yeah, let's start on sketching here. And because I'm in a new setup, actually, I can draw in a healthier way, so I can, because there's a concept in drawing called drawing with your hand versus drawing with your shoulder. This doesn't tell you anything, this doesn't mean anything. But I happened to be doing both of those things while I did them, while I made those squiggles. But it doesn't make a difference. But anyway, drawing with your shoulder is generally better for you. because you can get like pretty serious wrist injuries, like carpal tunnel and stuff like that, when you draw using your wrist. But if every stroke comes from your shoulder, for one thing, you make much nicer lines when you're trying to make something that's long and even. But also you reduce the risk drastically of something like carpal tunnel because you're using your shoulder to move your pencil, basically. Your stylus, in my case. I'm not very good at that, but that's okay, because we're kind of just blocking out a pose right now. I think if Aptonoth are supposed to be like canonically fast, I'm gonna put one like it's like running away from something, I guess. So no, I actually just don't like that pose at all. But we can maybe just do what Capcom has been doing this whole time, and put them in a chiller pose, because I guess that is more the point. The point is that they're pretty chilled out. So, okay, let's do pose like this. Oh, my proportions. Okay. And then the back is actually not a lot higher than the front. It's a little higher. But it's not by a lot. So the belly can go like that. I remember the last time I was in this stream, I was kind of hoping to get Aptonoth done all in one go, and I forgot how slow I am. But hopefully, I can at least. I'm probably not going to get started on the second Aptonoth tonight. But if I can, I'd like to try. But in any case, in doing that, you guys will actually get to be there for the part that I think will make this actually kind of fun to stream, is getting more like input from you guys, especially for sources of inspiration. Because I mean, even if it's as simple as just a dinosaur I haven't heard of before, that'll be useful information that I won't have come across. But I think in particular, like media concepts that I've just like never heard of, I think I'll be getting a lot of those as suggestions, because I have not seen like most things that everybody's seen. Like, I don't know, like Powerpuff Girls. I've never seen Powerpuff Girls. I don't know if Powerpuff Girls is still a culturally ubiquitous show, but it is to, I guess, people in my generation, I think. Maybe it's not. I think it is. And I have not seen it. A Permian boil. I have not heard of a Permian boil before. Yeah, if you have suggestions for something that you feel like would improve it, I absolutely encourage you to comment that. I think the trunk needs to be bigger. I think that's been my issue. Let's get the selection pen. I like the selection pen better. Actually, you know what? I should really be zoomed in over here. There we go. Okay. Permian boyo. All right. Yeah. Go ahead and shoot with it, Boudin. Glard. I don't actually know. I've never had to refer to you before. At least not while you're present and can correct me. Okay. So. Okay. I am letting nerves get the better of me here. Okay. Saying, you can tell because I'm saying okay every sentence, so I don't know what else to say. You make a good point into looking at Stegosaurs, because anatomically, yeah, it is really more Stegosaurian than it is Hadrosaurian. Did I ever grab a picture of an outdated... Oh, I never did get a Retrosaur duckbill in here, but I guess I should have done that. Trachodon is the one I was thinking of. You know what? There's nothing stopping me from just getting references whenever I want, so I can just go do that now. Okay, no, that's the music. We're not going to turn off the music. Let's get a good Stego reference. You guys ever just look up images of dinosaurs? It's a very depressing experience because most of it's AI now. And I mean, honestly, I feel like it's that way for a lot of real animals too, which stuns me because, like, you don't need to AI generate pictures of real animals because we still, like, have them and have photos of them and everything. I don't know why there's so many. No, I'm just making myself angry on Google Images. God, everything's buried. All the good images are buried for some reason. Like, even the ones that aren't AI, there's just not a lot of very good images. Well, let's see. I guess just different keywords, see if that gets me more of what I want. That's not very good. Okay. Well, this is uncharacteristically up to date for a Monster Mender depiction. Oh my god, that sucks. Oh my god. So many of these AI ones are really terrible. Okay, let's go into the ref folder. Oh, I had two stuff. Oh, okay, those. So that's. I need to see who made that because that's on Wikipedia. So yeah, that's probably Fred. I will say one thing about this using the Stegosaur anatomy is that Aptonoth don't seem to fight very often. So I wonder if it is worth bringing in more of the Gracile like build is better suited for something that is like, because apparently Aptonoth are supposed to be able to go really quick. We never see that in games because they're lumbering, because it makes it easier for the monsters to lock onto them and kill them immediately. So it's good. I think it's kind of in the vaguely messy area of canon, but I don't know. Like that's kind of why I wanted to do these like elephant legs. See, elephants aren't known to go fast here, but they're like the legs are a lot slimmer than what you might see on, especially on the back leg of a Stegosaurus. Like, there's a lot of muscle here, and on an elephant leg, it's not as visibly muscled, at least. Okay, well, let's look at Retrosaurs. I actually really like that. Somebody in the Discord server was actually doing something that's like very vaguely similar. They were doing a Stegosaur monster. It was like a big old living battleship, and that this drawing that I am currently pasting because I forgot that you guys can't see what I can see. This image here, I really like this. It's very like big tank of an animal. I think it's actually not going to serve me super well for Aptonoth specifically, but I like that image a lot. That's really cool. And then let's get the Trachodon image in here. Where's the Trachodon image? There it is. That's the one. Yeah, I like Miragaia a lot. Honestly, I think Miragaia is not fair game because Miragaia is in a lot of my personal designs, and I use it as a reference a bit too often. Because I don't want to change Aptonoth a lot. I just want to make it look more like a prey animal, honestly. And I mean, it's not like they don't, but they're so thick and bulky. They make me think like a cow, which, while yes, a prey animal, is a very large and very powerful prey animal that will explode your skull if you get too close to its haunches. So I'm trying to do something that looks a bit more helpless without changing it too much. But I don't know. Yeah, it's things to try. Maybe I will just go for a fully Miragaia'd up Aptonoth. Maybe it'll just be what we do. We'll find out. Oops. Oh, well, that's a good way to find out that I was on the wrong layer. Better sooner than later. I am on a third wrong layer. Why? What layer is this on? Okay. Well, yeah, let's not do that. Is that this layer? Oh my god, is that yet another wrong layer? Where is that? What am I doing? Oh no. Okay. Okay, I don't know why that one wasn't erasing, but I got it. So yeah, you know what? Let's go. We won't go full Miragaia because full Miragaia would be too much. But let's do something more Miragaia-like. So, you know what? For the sake of just trying something new, we'll give it like what I remember Stegosaur feet looking like, which is, I think, kind of how you want to, not necessarily approach it, but it is kind of a good philosophy for how to adapt a dinosaur into a Monster Hunter monster. Is like, what do you remember about it? Because that means you're only getting probably the most important parts that actually like affect the monster's personality and ecology the most, so that it can be like its inspiration, but it avoids it being oh god, it avoids it being just the dinosaur. Like, if you're just taking what you remember about it rather than taking everything. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think Stegosaur back feet are relatively elephantine. Can I trust you? Fuck. What's his name? Why? I always forget his name for that. Fred Weirham. Can I trust you, Fred? That looks like Fred's art style. I'm pretty sure that's Fred's. Yeah, okay. They've got a bit more, like, foot to it. I love the Carnivores games. Teledon, I don't remember. Like, I know you're talking about a mod. I'm adjacent to the Carnivores modding space. But I unfortunately don't have time to dedicate to Carnivores itself, so I just consume it through YouTube. That sucks. Okay, let's... I may turn the mini Monster Menders into shorts, so that's not a bad idea. And I'm thinking I might do that for stuff like the monster I was commissioned to do. I did a stream on that one too. I finished it off stream, but I'm planning to turn it into a video actually. For those of you who don't remember or who weren't there, I did a stream where I was working on the design of a monster that was commissioned. It is a kind of like it was a bird wyvern that was based roughly on a petrel, and then it was like pirate themed. You know, yeah, for the sake of doing Maragaya, let's just make the back half of it spiky. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. I lied. Oh, right. I'm just gonna look up that Mantelodon here. Let's see, what's this one? Ew! Oh god, that thing is horrific looking. Alright, well, I can't give that reaction and not show everyone. Okay, well, whatever. Google Images is being stupid, but I got it to work. I think this is a Saurian target thumbnail. Actually, wait, no, that's the mod DB thumbnail. Okay, cool. But I don't know. I feel like that I can't take as much as of ref from this just because the anatomy is really weird. And aside from the anatomy, it's mostly just an iguana with a beak. Tits for small YouTubers, I'm really not the one to be asking. Because my first video exploded because it got on Reddit. I don't even know this. I didn't even see it. I just heard that it was on Reddit. So my first video took off, and that got me, you know, a lot of traction. That I really just like. Realistically, I'm kind of coasting off of that first video. I'm not experiencing a lot of like growth. Oh, I see what you mean, Glenn. No worries. Well, he's still in my clipboard. I probably don't need this sauropod foot anymore. Just put him down there. Anyway, but yeah, I really lucked out. You know, I didn't gain any of the success I've been having through any particular strategy. I got lucky. I think we can make this. Yes. Bad and naughty lizards get put in the corner of shame. Let's try that. Do I like that? No, but I think I can. Yeah, the grind is kind of, unfortunately, a lot of your options in terms of growing as YouTuber. You just kind of got to grind, because no matter what your strategy is, um, you're never going to hit it big, and then not like I have. But, you don't get somewhere like Markiplier without being just, yes, good, but you have to just be lucky, because there are plenty of people who are real good out there. But they're just not lucky enough for their stuff to be in the algorithm. Okay, the leg is still not working. First of all, let's make a ground line. That will help me when I'm planning. Great. But my personal, what I'm doing now is I'm just working on it whenever I have the time and trying to make every video hopefully significantly better than the last. Like Gypsaurus, I feel especially actually was kind of a leap in quality for me. I think I now that I've kind of got myself a formula that I feel pretty comfortable with, I can just go ahead and do something that I feel will improve that formula every time I sit down to edit a video, because I've just got that little bit of work that I don't have to do because I did it last time. We're having a freeze. There we go. Yeah, the unfortunate thing I have been having a lot of issues with recently is that I'm not totally sure if it's Clip Studio. I don't think it is. I believe it's Windows 11. I think Windows 11 is screwing with a lot of apps because not a lot of things are built for Windows 11. So a lot of things, especially older programs, have been freezing on me, like a lot. I have noticed that I feel like it happens slightly less frequently now, and I have to think that it's maybe just more things adapting to Windows 11. Maybe I do need to pull Marigaia anatomy reference in here, because I guess I'm trying to make the vibe work, and I'm not getting the posture right. Okay. Speaking of Marigaia, it looks like Marigaia was just announced for, what's it called? Up from the Depths' mod. I don't like that very much for reference. You know what? I'm not finding very many references that I think are super good. So I'll just go with what I remember like I was. I just remember better because I just looked. So the S curve is kind of like that. But some of this has to be head. Yeah, the head should be much smaller proportionally. I'm trying much too hard to make that head work, but it does look a bit silly, and it's just how it looks. Okay. There we go. That's more of a start. Anatomical is another monster, another creature, specifically the Isles Thanatosaurus. I wanted to avoid using reference because I really, really like the Isle Thanatosaurus, so it sneaks its way into a lot of my designs. So, and especially with Monster Mender, I'm trying to do different stuff because I don't know. I guess it's good for me, and I feel like if I'm doing stuff for the public, I should be keeping it, fresher, maybe. Okay, and then if we bulk up these hips a bit. I am starting to dig this more. This Mirror Gaia inspired thinking. But is the cow, like being the lizard cow thing, important enough that it should stay? I don't know. I've got difficult choices to make here. So I am starting to like this live one because it fits what we understand about the lore a little better. But as far as visuals, the vibe is very much lizard cow. And I think that's kind of important. Indeed. He does look a bit like a dachshund, actually. Actually, a while ago, Glenn Boudin, you mentioned the having a fighty Aptonoth relative. That's actually something I was also working on. I mean, it's not recent anymore. It's been a bit, but that was something I was trying to do for a while, and I still may, but I've just not been making time for it because I have other projects I consider to be more urgent. Okay. Take this guy. Erase that. Now maybe I just have to shrink all these. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. I think I actually do this, just trying something different did kind of give me the direction I want. So the reason I'm not going to pick a different crest than Parasaurolophus is because this is the first Aptonoth and I don't want to change it that much. And I think that crest does a lot of the talking for Aptonoth. Like its whole personality, or its whole existence, is to be the media conception of Parasaurolophus, which is just like walking hamburger that T-Rex ate, and that is kind of the role Aptonoth's, and not even kind of, that's fully what Aptonoth represents. Aptonoth represents, is to just be fodder. So I kind of think that because the devs chose to take it so far from the actual anatomy of Parasaurolophus, that's really not even that far, but to mix in more stuff, I think that being instantly recognizable as not Parasaurolophus is very, very helpful, and increases the speed at which it communicates what it's about. There we go. A little beady little eye there. When it comes to the second and third Aptonoth designs, like I said earlier, the second and third designs are the ones that should hopefully be a lot more fun to stream and to be in the chat for the stream, because I think we'll have a lot more to contribute. So because in this one I'm going to be saying a lot of I don't want to change Aptonoth too much. But for the other one, it doesn't matter as much because it just needs to have Aptonoth's vibe, not necessarily his stupid Professor Rogoff. Totally lost my train of thought. Well, whatever. I think I liked this snout. So it does get wider in the back, so this needs to go like this and like that. Okay, so that's like nope, I'm tired of that one. I'm gonna try it again. Because I'm doing the thing that I have just today been told by one of my professors, not to do. I am trying to put too much detail in one spot all at once when I should be working in passes. I need to lay the groundwork first, and it is a bad habit of mine not to do that. So, I'm gonna make the choice not to do that anymore. Which, if any of you are out there as artists or even, video editors, Banana Milkshake, get all of your work done in passes, So start with a really rough version and then just, finish the whole project in that rough, uncompleted state, and then go back and improve that version, and then after that do it again, and you just keep doing that over and over until you finish everything. And I think that should also be very, very helpful for if anybody has been having burnout or whatever. I think that can be very helpful for that, because it doesn't feel like you're slaving away at one thing forever, because you're always doing something different, because you're changing up what you're working on, so you can stop your brain from getting stuck into this mindset where it feels like you're just on a treadmill and you're never getting anywhere, and the stuff that you are making isn't turning out the way you want it to. It's because it just needs time where your eyes aren't on it, and it needs that's really it. It needs time where your eyes aren't on it for you to subconsciously consider things about it, as well as for you to be able to see it with fresher eyes, so you can actually identify what it is about it that makes you not happy with it. Because I think that's something that, it's not even a thing. That's something I experience all the time. I need to be able to see my stuff with fresh eyes, because I can pick out a lot of stuff that I can immediately tell needs to be different, that I could not tell despite the fact that I was working on that for 5-6 hours consecutively, and just one, maybe even simple change didn't occur to me in that whole time. And just sleeping on it or something like that is really, really beneficial. Because sometimes you look at it and go, you know what, I was stressing out over nothing. I think I've actually done a pretty decent job. and then you can be, satisfied with yourself. Or maybe sometimes you're like, oh, I see what was like actually bothering me, and why the things I fixed yesterday didn't do it. Like an Indian Rhino Aptonoth, I think is like kind of a good idea, but at the same time, I feel like that is visually going to be very. Oh, what are they called? Slagtoth. That's what they're called. Slagtoth. Because they've got like a similar layered leather armor thing going on. To an Indian Rhino, that is. To clarify like what I'm actually talking about, because I'm sure that in my 20 minutes of rambling, I've lost a few people on what the original point I was making was. I tend to do that. I tend to do that to myself, actually. I'll just talk and talk and talk and forget what it was that I was even talking about in the first place, so I can't finish my thought. So I've just wasted an entire, 30 seconds of my and someone else's life just talking about nothing. I respect it. I have not gotten around to seeing Don Da Don yet, but I've heard from my friends that it's really, really good, so I hope you enjoy. I guess actually you should like text me in the Discord later how you like it. If you're not already into it and you like it. Yeah, the Slagtoth does have flabbier armor, because that is what it's like supposed to be. It's supposed to be like flab, because they're hippos. Hippos aren't actually flabby, but they look flabby. I don't know. I guess I feel like it's gonna end up really, really similar to the Slagtoth. Especially with it being another herbivore monster. So let's... Oh, like Rhinoplos? Okay. Well, that gives me a better idea of what you're talking about. Let's look up Rhinoplos. Maybe I should have a thing that will record Google for me. I'm not going to set that up right now, but I'll set it up another time. That's weird. The wiki image for Rhinoplos, the thumbnail, is a Raptor. I assume it's just because they're in the... users like you also visited this page, or whatever section. Like, I see what you're getting at, I think. But I think even then, doesn't that just become Apsaros? Like, it's not, it would be different, yes. But I think that, oops. I think the playlist stopped going. Yes, it did. Naughty. There we go. Okay, anyway. I want this head to be stupider looking. And that was what I was talking about with, I was talking until I lost my train of thought. I have literally no idea what I was saying like 5 minutes ago. It's gone. Not even 5 minutes, like a minute ago. It's completely gone. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn these two back on for more reference. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I think an armored Aptonoth is gonna end up like stepping on the toes of existing monsters that I don't want it to. Because honestly, I think what it's going to end up being is if I did that, it now looks like I've just done a redesign of Apzeros, which, you know, isn't a terrible thing because realistically, Apzeros just kind of is a variant of Aptonoth. They don't have very much mechanical depth. But actually, I'm starting to like it a lot. Fuck you, Boudin. How dare you have a better idea than me? Oh, does it? I guess it doesn't need a giraffe gate. Oh, you know what? This should actually be like up here because he has like very short knees, I think. Oh no! Oh, that's right. You know what? I think I am gonna keep the back legs really pillory. What is pillar leg? Fuck, there's a better word for it. Columnar. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, I'm gonna keep the back legs really columnar because I think it'll make an interesting dynamic here, and I just need to make it so that those columnar legs look like they can pump if they really needed to. So yeah, let's give him a bit more belly because I don't want it to be skinny exactly. Because I mean, even if you look at something like a gazelle has a gut on it generally. Granted, that gut is mostly for eating, but what does Apteros do all day? Yeah, there we go. If we make the back half like really beefy, it should look like it can actually run if it wants to. Oh, I don't actually remember what this one is. Oh, is this the online Plesio theme again? It is. Cool. So yeah, I don't. Granted, the way that this video labels the monsters, like which themes belong to what the hell, what themes belong to who, is apparently not consistent with how online actually works. But according to the YouTube video that is currently playing the music, this is the Plesioth theme from online. Oh, right. I was meaning to respond to this from Rugops. So, the second version is synthesized that works like a whistle. I actually do really like that. There was this book series I used to read. I never finished it because I think it kind of fell off, and then immediately after I finished the book, where I was starting to become disinterested, the author died. So that story's not even going to get finished. So I'm almost glad that I didn't keep going and make it, because I run the risk of getting invested again on a series that cannot and will not continue. But anyway, I bring it up because the series was called. Oh, wasn't it? I think the series was named after the first book, and I believe that would have been the Dinosaur Knights. I believe that was the name of the series. It's at least the name of one of the books in the series, so people who know at least know what I'm talking about. But in any case, it's a like vaguely medieval world with dinosaurs in it. It's not, the first book isn't a fantasy, and then they start like introducing magic later, but it generally starts out like pretty grounded. and the point I'm getting at is that hadrosaurs are a very popular war mount because they're everywhere. They're easily tamed. But importantly, hadrosaurs can do the terremoto, which is just Spanish for earthquake. But what that is all of like a herd, a battle line of hadrosaurs all bellowing so deeply that the infrasound causes physical damage to the things around it, which is a real thing that can happen, by the way. I believe we have, I believe it's of humpback whales. Humpback whales hurting people by accident, just by calling right at them, and the sound waves like punched through their body. And I don't know if it killed them, but it can do some like pretty serious damage to your organs, because being made out of water, sound actually travels very well through water, and sound is just vibration, which means that your body is getting vibrated really, really hard. It's like if getting hit with the terremoto, to my understanding, would be as if every single one of your organs was being given shaken baby syndrome. That is how I understand the terremoto worked. So I'm really, really, really attracted to the idea of the hadrosaurs calling together and making a sonic bomb. And I think I might do it. Honestly, I was literally about to say like, but is that too far from Aptonoth? You know what? Yes, it is. But counterpoint, we use that for Apsaros. Instead of giving Apsaros a club tail like an ankylosaur. Because honestly, I think it is maybe a little too close to literally just being an ankylosaur. Honestly, Apsaros looks a bit like what you would get if you asked for an ankylosaur from an AI image model like half a year ago, probably. So what if we have the second version? I should clarify, not the first version. Like one of the versions of Apsaros, maybe the second, like I was just saying, or maybe the third too. Instead of being like heavily armored, it is a defense like that. And honestly, I can see that being kind of cool in some place like the Wildspire, because the Wildspire has monsters that interact with sonic bombs. So the Noyos, the Apsaros could take place of the Noyos in the Wildspire Waste, and I think that would be kind of cool, because I guess this is a scenario I'm envisioning in which Noyos do something different. I just had somebody asking if I wanted to review their drawings on stream, and you know what? I don't know if it's a good idea to do that shit. No, it is. It is. What am I talking about? I'm being stupid. Don't worry about it. I had a very long and convoluted thought process. Don't worry about it. I'm going into the art channel to go do that now. In the meantime, if anybody else in chat could help me finalize which tail I go with, I'm going to leave you with these slight tail variations. Let me know. Just like, actually here, I'll relabel them so that we don't have any confusion. I shouldn't have done that. Whatever. No, it's gonna be in this order. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Okay. So yeah. All right. You know what? We're actually gonna, for clarity, we're gonna 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Yeah. Basically, which tail am I going with? And I'm gonna go to Discord. I'm gonna do that. And I'll catch up on some messages while I'm there. Oh yeah, I guess actually when I'm looking at the live chat still, I'll finish my conversation with regrets. I think uh, I think you're right because the mechanical purpose of Apsaros holds it back from doing what it's supposed to do. It does technically do it. I feel like this is little known trivia now, if that makes sense. But Apsaros, when a large monster is in the area, they form that specifically in world. They form that like circle, and if you go in there, the monsters actually stop targeting you as much. And I think they may also reduce the damage you take while inside the circle. That I can't verify. But monsters are less likely to go into the Apsaros circle because, canonically at least, Apsaros are very tough to eat. But of course, mechanically that doesn't work because they have to just immediately die so that the monsters can regain stamina, because the large monsters are the ones who matter. And that's the same reason Aptonoth is so slow in the games, even though it's apparently very fast. Like, it actually runs very quickly, but in the games they just lumber around because otherwise the large monsters would never catch them. So I think you're right that we would be better off with an actual Ankylosaur large monster. But we're going to work with what we have with Apsaros. And to be honest with you, I do sort of, at least, approach these designs. I think less so than I usually do are not about the ecology. Or it's less about the ecology than it normally would be with a lot of the stuff that I make. But I mean, that is still a very big part of the way I design stuff. Anyway, I've been talking for a long time when I said I was going to my server to review Litton Gamer's art, so we're going to do that. So I guess for anybody who wants to look at what I'm looking at, I'm in the traditional art channel, most recent message. I think it can use more conceptually, because I guess I get what I'm looking at. I think you can increase the presence of maybe boxer, and honestly maybe that comes down to pose, because I like that it's like a semi-aquatic iguanodon monster, but to me right now it's reading a lot like iguanodon, or honestly even, hold on, let me look this up to verify that I know what I'm talking about. But it was funny, we were talking about carnivores mods earlier. There is one with the iguanosaurus in it, which is basically just like a giant nasty iguanodon. Like it's like, yeah, this is, I don't think this is what I was thinking of. That's weird. I swear to God I saw a different one. Excuse me. That's not a very good image. Honestly, there we go. This is probably the image I want. So, I guess I'll just paste it in the middle of my stream. So I think, Litton Gamer, what I'm seeing is that I think you could use more concepts blended into your monster, because it feels awfully similar to something like this, which is meant to be, a bulky take on Iguanodon. And I think just the boxing helmet isn't quite doing enough. So I think maybe if you can emphasize the appearances of boxing equipment. Let's see. I feel like an obvious and maybe not the best way, but a way to do it would be to have the tail have like a big round club on the end of it that kind of looks like a big old boxing glove. You could also say that maybe that's a ballast for the monster to use while it's in the water, so it can travel along the bottom more easily, because its heavy tail will like sink and keep it from keep its buoyancy from getting it kicked around by the movement of the water. Okay. We're just going to get rid of that and go back into Discord. Yeah, Brainstorming does already do boxing gloves, and so does Macau, honestly. So I wonder if maybe there's a different contact sport you want to use. Because Brainstorming is boxing, and Macau is kickboxing, and also kangaroo, because kangaroos like are kickboxers. That's why he stands on his tail and why he has boxing gloves for hands. So I wonder if maybe you went for something with like wrestling instead. Which I feel like actually proportionally you've kind of got down. So does wrestling have any gear? I guess not that much. I was gonna say sumo, but that's Tetranodon. I don't know. I feel like I'd like to see just a touch more from this monster, but it's hard to think of what else it could use. Bracers? I mean, yeah. Bracers are certainly an option. I mean, I think that also fits wrestling, where, you know, if the forearms are, like, spiked, it can like deal damage while it's grappling stuff, and it also lets it like hold on. So yeah, maybe it could squeeze its enemies to death that way. Like literally putting things in a chokehold and just squeezing them to death. That might be kind of funny for a herbivore monster to be able to do. Are these all concepts for the same monster, or are these different monster concepts that you're putting right now? I think, okay, it's different stuff that you're playing right now. Okay. I gotta keep doing my stream. So I'm gonna head back over here. Okay, so it seems like pretty much everyone agrees on 2. We'll do 2 then. Oh, but you know, this little adventure does remind me. Oh, actually, I'm stupid. What am I doing? Was hoping at some point I could host some like little is events the right word, but host some streams where people come in and we'll like just like talk about monster design, and I'll I don't want to say rate, but I'll like discuss with people their monsters that they're creating. Is that something that people would be down for? Actually, maybe that's something we can talk about here, is we can decide like how that would work. Because I think that would be, it would require, I mean, not minimal effort from me, but less than a Monster Mender episode. I put a lot of work into those episodes. I hope you can tell. So I wonder if that would be a good way to, you know, continue having something to engage with my community with. So, you know what? Let's. This sounds like it's a fun idea. So let's kind of consider how this would like work. Um, so I'm thinking what we would need to do beforehand is like get submissions, like ones that are specifically, I don't want to just grab somebody's art that maybe they didn't want to have posted all over YouTube. So, it would have to be people. I think I would want to make it its own channel where people can submit their monsters. And then, at some point during the week, whenever I'm not busy, I can like go over monster concepts in in that suggestions channel, or excuse me, in that submissions channel, and then I can bring them on call or just have like a chat with them through Discord on what we want to do, or what the monster is, and my thoughts on it, what I would do with it, things like that. So. Solo for a good month or two. Oh yeah, I'm sure, and I mean, I'm sure plenty of people have monster concepts. I thought it might be fun to do some sketches on stream, just because. But I wonder if it's not a good idea just because I'm very inefficient, as you can tell. So it takes a long time for me to do anything. But I don't know. I think that'll be maybe something I'll have to test out, because I don't know if. Would you guys even be interested in that? Would you want me to like try and draw and talk at the same time? Do you think that I would be too distracted to be entertaining, or what are we thinking of that? Okay, you know what? I think we gotta beef up this tail a bit. As for the grappling moves, sorry, no, back to Lit and Gamer now. I think with grappling moves in Monster Hunter, I mean, canonically all monsters are grappling all the time because this is how like animals fighting works. So I think that is something that isn't going to be perfect in the fight. But I mean, there's certainly a precedent for a monster like picking you up. Like, let's say Arzuros. Arzuros' grab is actually kind of similar to what I envision your guys' grab being like, where it could like scoop you up in its arms and like squeeze you against its chest or something. And that could be it's ultimate attack. That's the big serious thing. And then all the other moves can be still kind of boxing, honestly, because if it's just like maybe it's more general martial arts, like it's an MMA fighter, maybe. It can still punch, and I think it can. If you went with those like spiked bracers, it could have a lot of like broad, not even punches, but just like I guess it would be like a big wide slap where it's trying to catch you with the bracers or something. I think it's also funny if the outside of the bracers are the things that are spiked and it just backhands people. It's funny. See, actually, this death hug thing is kind of something interesting for me because in my speculative evolution project, which I've talked about periodically, I have a like my favorite monster. I have a favorite creature from that project, and they're called Peppermaw. They're called Peppermaw because they have a venomous bite that feels a lot like the way like a hot pepper feels when you eat it. Like it's as if the wound is spicy. That's what being bitten by them feels like. That's why they're called Peppermaw. And for convoluted reasons I don't really want to explain right now, or rather I do, but I'll get distracted and I won't get any work done. They have everything on their planet has 6 limbs except for their lineage. That lineage has their front 2 limbs have fused, or front 2 limbs on either side have fused. So they just have one set of extremely well developed arms, and that is one of the Peppermo's things is that it has venomous bite, that like is a paralytic. So what it does is it bites things to inject them with venom, and then if they're as soon as they're weak enough or if they're small enough, it just grabs them and pulls them into its chest and just like kind of squeezes the life out of them. They've got big old claws too, so they're like it'd be more like how an owl kills, because owls kill mostly, to my understanding, with just their grip force. They just punch their talons into whatever they're killing and it dies, because they're essentially stabbing with giant spears because they mostly hunt tiny creatures. But I'm thinking the Peppermaw hunts a similar way, where it like just like grips you really hard, and just by nature of the grip force, its claws like puncture and deal a lot of damage, which is faster than just waiting for something to die of paralysis because its heart stopped. What am I doing? I don't need to be in scale stuff for now. That's what I'm talking about with, I just start doing stuff, and I don't need to. Okay, well that's maybe why it looked so weird to me, is because I was not doing it the way I was supposed to. Crazy how that works. Did you guys know that doing things the way that they're supposed to be done tends to work better than doing not that? Because apparently I didn't, because I keep having to teach that to myself every day. Go. Actually, wait, wasn't this in the most recent video? It totally was, yeah. That was one of the tracks I used for the Chips Roast video. Funny. A mini club, like, where? What is... Where would the mini club, like, go? What, especially to serve like a functional purpose still. Because I feel like if there's a club in the middle of there, it's just not going to reach anything, right? We're going to bring the ref back because I need to see exactly how Aptonoth tails work, because I'm forgetting something. Okay. Okay, cool. That's what I wanted. Oh wait, when you say middle of the Thagomizer, are you talking about it having like a bulb, like a big bony boss on the end of that one? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. So you're talking about like the whole end of the tail here being a club. I'm thinking I might not do that because of Apsaros again. that tail has definitely become too overcomplicated. I think, well, then again, actually, it's pretty overcomplicated on the original design. But let's try something here. I think I can arrange these spikes, oops, in a more intelligent way. But the spike's attached to it, okay. So, here, just to understand what you're talking about, Rugops. So so there's a bump here, and then out of the bump comes the spike. So then it would be like bump here, that, bump here, that. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sure with Battle Axe Tail, it's not, honestly not a bad idea.
I mean, because I know that's, back when I was in the Arc space, that was one of the things that I heard about a couple times, was creating an Ankylosaur with an axe tail. So, I mean, I have some old concepts. Keep kicking stuff. Some old concepts for axe tail monsters. Okay. I don't mind that. I think I'm not gonna do the reinforced Thagomizers, just because Aptonoth never seemed to use them. And it's honestly super probable that they're an intra-specific combat feature, like antlers, basically, where they're not really meant for killing things. So, I need to see it working. I think the reason I don't want to is just because I think I want to keep this guy relatively slimmed down. I don't want it to feel like it has, they all come from, this is what I was saying earlier. Like this is a giant club, and then the spikes come out of it. Yeah, I'm not thinking I want to do that, because I think that looks like it would weigh it, Aptonoth down, and I still want its primarily defense mechanism to be running away. I don't want it to look too good at smacking stuff. I want that to be clearly a last resort option, which honestly I don't feel like the original design does amazingly. Like, it's got this very serious looking mace, and it does nothing. I guess it would be a maul technically, I think. Right? Or a maul's the ones that are on hammer handles. No, okay, I think I am thinking of a mace. Or honestly, it would be like a Morning Star even. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna keep the end unarmored. How unarmored it's gonna be is gonna be somewhat relative, because in Monster Hunter, unarmored is, or I should say, not being well armed usually means you're about as well armed as a normal animal on Earth is, because everything in Monster Hunter is insane. What track is this? I don't actually recognize this. Must have put this on the playlist a very long time ago. Oh, what? That's the online Phase 2 Shen Garen, apparently. Huh. That really surprised me. So I think we can see some facultative how would I conjugate that? That's not even conjugation, is it? No, that's not conjugation. Is facultative bipedry a word? Facultative bipedalism, that's the word I'm looking for. But yes, as far as I can tell, um, Aptonoth are facultative bipeds. They don't seem to actually like do it very often, but they can like seemingly rear up. They look like they could probably move that way if they wanted to. Um, I honestly though I wonder if it's maybe a good idea not to make my Aptonoth facultative bipeds, because then maybe they're getting too close into Parasaurolophus again. Which then again, maybe I'm doing, because I've made a really live. This is probably why I didn't go for the live route in the first place. Okay, I think we've got to bulk this guy back out a little bit, but maybe it can be like superficial bulking. Like it can be the fan, not the fan, the like dewlap almost, honestly, on the back of the crest. So I can do that there. Yeah, so I think visually we're going to bulk him back up again. Which I honestly, maybe I should have been just doing this in the first place, because I think those big, pronounced spinal ridges are actually really good for Aptonoth's shape language. So, yeah, okay. That's immediately way more Aptonoth having put those back, so I'm very glad that I went back and did that. It's true. Like, hadrosaurs were not a joke. Like, media makes them into one because it's convenient for getting predators on screen, because predators sell tickets because they're cool. I know they are. I happen to agree, even if I understand logically why the way they act in media is stupid. But yes, no, Parasaurolophus, Hadrosaur in general, Parasaurolophus specifically, were no joke. They were very big, and they could hurt you really bad if they wanted to. But this is very clearly, at least to me, seems very clearly the pop culture Parasaurolophus is what Aptonoth is doing. Like it's the same way Gypsaros is not particularly authentic to a real chicken, but it's the pop culture version of a chicken is what it's supposed to be. And I think that's definitely what Aptonoth is going for. It's going for helpless prey animal. Even if it is, by Earth standards, supremely well armed. By Monster Hunter standards, it's really not got a whole lot going on. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that as far as the silhouette goes. Let me know how we think about that. Just gonna make these legs beefier. So yeah, this is with a sexual dimorphism comment. It's something that I'm really kind of struggling with how I want to deal with that in the context of Mini Monster Mender, because I plan to stream this. I don't plan for Mini Monster Mender to get, well, that's not necessarily true. I am unsure what my plans for editing down Mini Monster Mender is. And just for the purposes of that, and for my own effort in getting the streams done, so that I can hopefully be relatively in pace with regular Monster Mender, so that they should finish about the same time. So hopefully I can finish the first generation roughly at the same time for both mini and regular Monster Mender. Ideally, mini first, just so I don't have to, feel like I'm playing catch up with the objectively less impactful series. Let's see. I've done that thing where I've lost my train of thought again. Right. So I'm not sure how I want to handle stuff like that with monsters that have like a reason why I would have multiple drawings of them. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to make one version of every monster, and it'll just be something that I establish, or maybe I include, you know what, I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll include some, like, I'll have, just like right next to the monster's image, I'll have this, and then it'll be like, oh, can you guys hear Discord? I think that's coming out of my laptop. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. So yeah, maybe it would be something like this. This is probably what I'm going to do. Assume that these are fully rendered. Oh, well, okay. That's exactly the thing I spent that whole time trying to explain what I was trying to do. That, yeah, so that Rugops just suggested that I do that in a much more efficient collection of words. By the way, so do we feel good about this design, though, moving forward with it? Because I think, as far as the sketch does, it's probably just about done. Obviously, I haven't done any lining or coloring. It's not done. But I'm saying, as far as the sketch goes, I think I did it. I think I'm happy with that. What was I going to say now? Oh, you know what? I'm going to have some water. Hydration indeed. Anyway, we're gonna get rid of that for now. I don't need it. Okay, these guys are just gonna go into a different layer for now. We're gonna boost that guy up so he fills up the page. Perfect. Transformation, yes. Just make those invisible. Go here. Okay. So now we're gonna do the lines. Track is this? I don't recognize this either. Oh, this was from one of the Warhammer games. It's Dark Eldar from. That must be. It's Dawn of War 1. It's Dawn of War 1. I would love to play Dawn of War, but it doesn't work on my computer. And I don't. None of the things I've tried to do to get it to run on my computer have worked. So I wasted my money, which sucks. Because I wanted to actually play as Tyranids in a strategy game. Because I don't have time for actual tabletop Warhammer. Would have been fun to do it in RTS. But unfortunately, none of the Dawn of War games launched. Which sucks, but what are you going to do? It's old software. Very old software. Yeah, it's not that old. It's pretty old, though. As far as games go, at least. Unrelated. Who here is a fan of Creepcast? I haven't been caught up for a while. But we got any other people who are still creeping they cast while I unfortunately am slacking on my cast creeping? Actually, no, this has to be solid, yeah. There we go. Actually, let's pull my refs back up, make sure I'm getting the horn arrangement right. See, that's something I would have forgotten about. Is the way the lip flesh works. So, it's a good thing I brought that back up. So it is, like, almost beaky. It's a meat beak. Oops, that's the wrong brush. No wonder it looks weird. Meat beak is giving me some issues. Maybe it doesn't like that I'm calling it a meat beak. But that's what it is. It's a meat beak. Which happens to sound identical to another word, but that is unrelated in definition. A meat beak might also be how two birds, like a way you would describe a situation in which two birds are meeting together by total chance in a coffee shop, for instance, and they start a relationship there. That was a really bad meet cute joke. I think you should ignore that I said any of that. That sucked. Actually, you know what? Everybody out of the stream. I'm going to restart the stream because that joke was so bad. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. I'm gonna redo everything that I've been doing for the past
Hour.
Hour? No, it's been over an hour because I started at like. When did I start? I started at. Okay. So a little under 2 hours now. That gives you good reference on why Monster Mender episodes take so long. Not because necessarily they're difficult, which they are in fairness, but they would be less difficult than somebody who is like skilled or something. But just because it takes me forever to get anything done. Granted, I'm sure it's maybe not the best example because I've been distracted all stream, but I mean, I think a non-distracted stream would be just even more miserable to watch than just me like working and not saying anything. It'd be even less fun to watch. So he's gotta have the big nostrils, those nostrils that I think a lot of people, including me, assumed were eyes. Gotta be eye-shaped to confuse people. Not necessarily because it gives them any advantage, but because I think it's funny that the original version of Aptonoth does that. Yes. I agree. Pretend that Aptonoth Burger is funny joke. I don't have anything to follow that up with, unfortunately. I'm not a comedian. So, unfortunately, I've wasted your attempt to save me. Apologies, Regops. So recently, I'm not sure if it's just my algorithm or if it happens to be a wider spread thing, but Smosh has been all over my algorithm recently. I think it's just me, because it seems to happen periodically. Smosh just appears in my YouTube feed for whatever reason. And honestly, you know, it's not the Smosh I grew up with, but it's not terrible. You know, the content's pretty decent, especially now that they've gotten out from under, I don't remember the name of that company, but they've gotten out from under the bigger like corporation they were under, so they can make content other than every blank other every single week, which they did for like 2 years, and it was awful. God, it was probably longer than 2 years. It was a long time. They were just like making utter content farm garbage, and honestly, you know, some of what they make now is still kind of content farm garbage. But I think it's, you know, it's got a lot more personality to it. And in particular, you know, I think a lot of the cast members that they've got on camera these days are actually pretty funny. Shane in particular, I think, is really funny. I guess if I'm talking to nobody here with I have no idea how much my audience lines up with the 2025 Smosh audience, but if they do happen to line up, yeah, I think Shane's my favorite. And for those of you who don't know what any of that means, ignore it, because I'm sure I actually have some number of people, maybe not who are in this stream right now, because, I mean, I don't know, everybody's here right now, but, because I can't see that, so I don't know, YouTube works, but, like, I wonder if Smosh really even gets new viewers these days. Like, I wonder if it's all people who used to watch in the olden days. I mean, surely they must, right? Because the content's so different. And they're still alive. They're still paying their bills. So surely they must be growing. It's not how I drew the hands on the other side. There we go. I think that's a little closer to what I'm going for here. How many toes do they have? 3 toes? Hard to tell. Three toes and some protrusion, and a protrusion on either side. Okay. Maybe I'll give him... Actually, yeah, I think I will do that. So I was looking for this for reference earlier today, but that was for an unrelated project, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember now. I don't remember what I needed this for. But, the feet of early horses, I think that's the kind of, like, not hoof I want to make. Myohippus. Okay, let's look at Myohippus. Okay, yeah, something like that. We'll do that. Because, yeah, they have rhino feet, and I think kind of the bridge between rhino feet and horse feet is going to be Myohippus. And I think if we want something faster, we should maybe give it at least one set of limbs that are more similar to horses. Because I think ecologically, this is probably still more cow, because even cows a lot of the time would rather run, or most prey animals in general would, you know, it's just a better idea in general to run. It's probably more energy efficient to just run rather than fight. Okay, so I make a defeat. Big toe. Big toe, and then medium toes. Don't know if I like that either. Nah. No, I think I'll go with the kind of elephant feet. I think elephant feet are the right choice, just because I think that they sell the vibe. They sell the vibe, and that's, you know, that's kind of what you're doing as any kind of designer or artist. You're selling a vibe, and I think that does it. Doesn't matter if it's, you know, more technically correct to do things one way when communication is the goal. And communication is, visual communication is getting the vibes of something and showing it to them, and them agreeing that that is the vibe. You make a good point. Actual hadrosaur feet are awful. They are, I was talking about earlier with the meat beak, hadrosaurs have meat hooves. It's disgusting. But at least that means they don't spawn. They don't, they aren't born with those horrible things that, fairy fingers. Horses have these things, which I believe are called fairy fingers. or at least in some places they're called fairy fingers. And if you haven't looked them up, I will warn you to be careful, and then strongly encourage you to go do that because it's actually really interesting. But fairy fingers are these structures that grow on the hoof, like basically over the top of the hoof of a gestating horse. And what their purpose is is to protect the inside of the mother horse from the baby horse kicking. And so it's a horrible, disgusting, fleshy, like mess. Like it's honestly almost Lovecraftian looking set of like tentacles almost on the hoof of a newborn horse. It's awful looking. Strongly encourage you all to inflict yourself with that knowledge. But if something like the Suriname toad bothers you because you're a coward, then, or you have schizophobia, I guess, then strongly encourage you to look it up because it's really cool, but it's awful. So, okay, I think what I'm doing wrong here is I'm not... This is the wrist. Okay, yes. Yeah, this is what I needed. Why am I on the wrong layer? Get off that. Okay, so this is the wrist here. So the toes come off like that. Okay, I definitely need to make the toes bigger too. By the way, that's actually another thing I forgot to ask about. Has the stability of the stream been? Because I think you've been here basically this whole time, Rugups. And honestly, Pilliper too. Is the stream like stable? Is it having a lot of lag? Is the bitrate okay? Because in the last place I was in, I know the bitrate was terrible. Like, aside from living in college dorms, I've only had god-awful internet my whole life. Okay, so it is still a little choppy. It doesn't super surprise me, because YouTube was warning me that the bitrate was a little funky before. So, yeah, nothing I can do about that, but hopefully it's better than it has been in the past. I mean, clearly it has been, because the stream hasn't randomly stopped. At least I don't think it has. Because that's usually what happens when I stream, is I find out that my internet, it doesn't feel like it today. It's too tired, so it's just gonna screw me over. Track is this one, actually? I don't remember. Oh, it's the same one that confuses me every single time. It's the Plesioth one again. Okay, these are definitely not shuffling like I asked them to. Let's try that again. Further on this side. You know what? Actually, we're gonna switch playlists. I'm tired of this one. What do we got? No, okay, I wouldn't get over to playing that. That's much more copyrighted than what I'm playing right now. Screw it. Yeah, we'll just play the vaguely Japanese playlist. I don't know why. It's just the playlist that jumped out to me when I was scrolling through them. So that's what we're listening to now, which is fine because I'm sure that the many of my viewers are anime watchers. I mean, Monster Hunter is anime adjacent, at least in terms of its physics. I think it attracts a similar crowd of people who enjoy big sword. So yeah, these toes still aren't doing well, but maybe now that I have a actual... I keep drawing in the pencil, which is not what I want. Anyway, for anyone curious, yes, this is Big Shot in a traditional Japanese musical style done by Human, Hyuman. I wanted to make sure I got that out there because I'm realizing just now that I have not done an excellent job crediting my sound work. Because I have tried to be at least very conscientious about how I do my video crediting and stuff like that. But I'm thinking now, I haven't really put much effort into doing it right by the audio people. Granted, I think pretty much the only audio I've really ever used has been from Monster. I guess there was the rock thing. The rock's big enough for me. Whatever, it's fine. But music credit, I think, is something that I actually need to start putting in videos. Yeah, Monster Hunter does seem like it would make for a good anime, but I wonder if it's just because the story elements are so, like, buried. Not even buried, I guess, but so secondary to Monster Hunter a lot of the time. I wonder if that has a lot to do with it. Because, I mean, I'm not sure how long stories ran. Because it's done, right? It's not still running. I'm going to double check that. Let's see. Is produced? Is it ongoing? No. Okay. It's totally done, right? Right. It did run for 2 years. Okay. This is another kind of just random thing to throw out there. Does anybody here watch Hef? He's a primarily streamer. He's described himself as a Pokemon streamer that was bullied into doing Pikmin content. But I mean, I'm there for both of those. I love Pikmin. I love Pokemon. I know I've mentioned this a couple times before, but I'll say it again just because it might be of interest to maybe people who haven't heard me say this yet. But me and actually someone who I think is still in the stream, Pilliper and I and another friend, I don't think anyone in my audience would have met. They're in the Discord server, but they don't talk. And another friend. We're going to be doing a Pokemon redesign series at some point. I'm going to be doing... So basically, the format that we've kind of agreed on has been that we're all going to come with a design and then also I'm going to contribute to the audio editing, but I'm not going to be doing the time-consuming stuff. So hopefully the editing I do for that show won't impact Monster Mender at all, because I really don't want it to. But I did an Intellion redesign for that series. I think I have a pretty healthy overlap of Pokemon and Monster Hunter people in my audience. I mean, in general, I think Monster Hunter actually has a lot of Pokemon fans, because it's all about those, monster collecting games. There's really not a lot of stuff where you get to interact with the monsters on as detailed a level, or just on any level, really, besides hitting them with a sword, that you do. Like Monster Hunter and Pokemon both, I think, are uniquely interactive with their monsters. I mean, even in Pokemon, it's mostly, up until relatively recent entries, like a decade ago entries, that you were able to actually interact with them, feed them, pet them, play with them, stuff like that. But the game encourages you to have bonds with your little team of dudes, and I think Monster Hunter does a similar thing with the way that you embody your favorite monster because you wear its armor, maybe, or they just give you the option to observe the monster in its natural habitat. And I think so few other games do that Monster Hunter and Pokemon appeal to that same crowd of people who want just like they're there for cool monsters, and they want more than what something's like Final Fantasy is giving them. I always like to use Final Fantasy as my bad example, because the design style doesn't work for me. I think Final Fantasy, all of them really look really stupid. And it's kind of on a different level from like Dark Souls, because Dark Souls I also actually aesthetically hate. I think it looks kind of bad. Like, and I know it's the point is that it's ugly, but it just like it doesn't work for me. I still plan to play Dark Souls at some point, but I just haven't gotten around to it, and that's a big reason why, is because I think it looks really bad. But I think I respect Dark Souls a lot more, because it's it does seem like it's the point that everything is nasty and awful. But for Final Fantasy, it's just like you're just putting shit there for no reason. And maybe I would like it more if I had, the context of the lore and stuff. But it just seems like fluffy garbage to me. And I've never been a fan of the design philosophy of those games. Hi, chat. Oh, I haven't been looking at chat for a while. I have to catch up. Jacob? What about Jacob? You're talking about the Lego guy, who also did other stuff, I think, but I know him as the Lego guy now. And awkward, Rugups, you asked awkward proportions with a question mark. What part of that were you talking about? I didn't see it when I said it. I'm gonna turn the refs back on for a second here for the jawline. Okay. Oh, I actually kind of did these horns wrong. We're gonna fix those real quick. Oops, something's on the wrong layer there. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Palette, just on the palette. Sketches. Crap. Alright. 1 second, I gotta track down something I drew on the wrong layer. It is in sketches. You lied to me. What? What? That's not right. Oh, what layer is that on? Okay, there. It's down there. That's fine. I can just get rid of that. Perfect. Keep track of your layers, kids. Don't let yourself fall into that trap too often, because I assure you, if there are those of you who want to get into digital art and haven't already, you will be commonly having this issue unless you are very, very careful with your layers. Please be careful with your layers, or else you will not have a good time. And that's kind of what, I mean, that's what art is, for me at least, is, you know, it's about having a good time, you know? I don't want to suffer for it, because that removes the purpose. And, you know, it's because my art isn't, you know, particularly deep, you know, it doesn't come from, you know, I'm not trying to say something. And I think if, you know, if you're trying to make art that's personally satisfying for you, you definitely shouldn't make it miserable for yourself. So definitely practice, you know, good, safe habits, you know, like making sure you're drinking water and draw from the shoulder and stuff like that. Just to, like, you know, don't make your hobby into a problem or into a job. I guess I don't mean necessarily don't turn your hobby into a job that you can use to sustain yourself, but don't turn it into something that feels like a commitment so rigid that you aren't getting the enjoyment out of it anymore. For Final Fantasy, awkward proportions is definitely part of it. There's also just there's just detail on there that doesn't feel like it does anything. Like the silhouettes are all insane and nonsensical, and I don't find like them interesting at all. Yeah, much like with the last mini Monster Mender stream, I was kind of hoping to get further along with this, but unfortunately it looks like I'm really only going to get the lines done before I have to call it quits. But, you know, that's alright, that's progress, and hopefully the next stream should be a lot more fun, because it'll be, I guess it'll be coloring and shading. Which is not the most exciting thing, but it's also, I think, the quickest part, at least relative to how much you're doing. Sorry, I got into the zone there. Totally forgot. I was kind of going there. And I guess I was kind of thinking to myself that lining actually goes a little faster than I remember. Maybe it's just because this is a somewhat cleaner sketch than a lot of the ones I usually work with, so that probably helps. I think I'm actually gonna scrawny up these arms a touch, because it's looking a little too generic right now, and I'd like for it to be hopefully a little more distinctive. You know what? You make a good point, Rugops. I will actually put the pupils in, because I usually do the pupils as part of the line art. And I just kind of chose not to randomly for this one, so I probably would have had to go back and do it, like in a couple hours when I forgot. So what do Aptonoth pupils look like? Okay, yeah, good to know. You can see a little better here. Okay, it looks like they've just kind of got like deer eyes. Yeah, there we go. It's good enough. What is that? Oh, that's the D. That's part of that scientific diagram. And D is for diagram. God, I'm so fucking funny. How do I do it? Anyway. Thanks. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how a lot of this guy came out, frankly. But the head in particular was something that I was kind of warring with for a bit there. Mostly just because I think I was letting nerves get the better of me. Once I just like chilled out, I it was fine. Excuse me. Oh, actually, that's another thing I want to look at. Okay. Cool. There we go. Oh, dealing with a little freeze here. Oh, I can get the eraser out. The freeze is done. Nice. These long curved lines are the bane of my existence because I have whatever the opposite of a surgeon's hands are. Baby hands. I have shaky, sticky little baby hands. Okay. Because these should be pretty bladed. who dis? Oh, we're doing Aptonoth is who we're doing. I'm doing good. I'm glad you're doing well, Serato. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? The neck should attach down here, actually. Which means that this should be a little further back. Okay, this whole neck is actually a little jank now, just because I realized that I kind of placed the spine a little wrong. There we go. That should be better. Aptochad is an apt name for this thing. Oh God. I don't know how I managed to be this funny and also sexy and smart and intelligent and awesome and cool and smart. Also funny. And humble. Don't forget humble. See, your humor used to be perfect, but then I stole your joke. So now, my humor is perfecter. I think we're actually coming to a conclusion here, honestly. Because I think I've done... Yeah, I've gotten myself to a really good stopping point here. So, I'm thinking that it might just be time to leave it. And, you know, maybe even this weekend I can get back to this. But I definitely got to make sure I prioritize homework because I'm definitely learning how hard my schedule will beat me if I don't keep on top of stuff. Because I've really been kind of skating by a lot of the time, and this is not gonna fly anymore. So I need to make sure that everything is done. But if I can get all my stuff done, and none of my friends are begging for me to spend time with them like they have to get me to do anything, then there's a pretty decent chance we'll get to finish this guy up this weekend, I hope. Oh, you know what? The perspective's a little off. Let's fix that. It should be like here, right? I think it should be there. Yeah. Chad Tanoth. I think I like Chad Tanoth better. But honestly, you know, if you remind me when I finish, if you're around for the stream, when I finish this drawing, you should remind me to make an Aptonoth emote, and I can totally do that. Oh, did I loop that playlist? I did. Okay, I'm thinking I might be pretty happy to leave it there, at least for the night. So I'll do some minor detailing and we'll kind of wind down here. So I guess if anybody has any questions they want to ask me before I sign off, now would be a good time. In the meantime, everybody, drink water, stay hydrated, get lots of sleep, and manage your time better than I do. For God's sake, please manage your time better than I do. It depends on in what regard you're asking how, as in how is this all I'm able to do in 2 hours? Because I am a hack. If it's like, how do I physically stand to do that? It's how I do everything. I am very, very slow, and I have a method that I develop a method for everything I do that is usually very, very unwavering and inefficient, but I stick to it because, I don't know, I got issues, probably need to go to therapy, that's frankly all it is, if I had to guess. But therapy is for people who have time, and I am not one of those people. As for next monster I'm going to do, I'm going to go roughly in order of appearance for the small monsters. So next stream will be Aptonoth again. But next monster is probably like Velociprey? I think it's Velociprey. Actually, I can check that right now. Let's see. I'm looking at my list right now. I'm not going to tell you what my source is because then you could probably predict what was coming next. And I don't want you to be able to do that. I want it to be a surprise. Oh, Kelby actually might be it. I'll have to see. Because I don't care about people knowing the order of Mini Monster Mender. Okay, yeah, that's alphabetical, which is not what I want. Okay. So yeah, the method I've been using to determine the order of my large monsters doesn't seem to work as good on my on the small monsters. Maybe if these exist in the first game. Let's see. This is something we'll have to look more into later. Which problem do you have, Fulani? Am I satisfied with this? Is this too different? Is this too generic? No, I think I'm okay. Yeah, I think I want to edit these proportions a touch. Oops, I'm on the wrong layer. Yeah, which problem did you say you had, money? I don't remember if I finished my thought earlier. Okay, yeah, I think that. Oops, that's not on it. That did need to be bigger. All right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just drawing and erasing the same thing over and over again. Yup. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty common artist problem. Okay. Oh, having the Basil Geese. I should just put the Basil Geese theme in all of my playlists. Because the playlists I'm actually playing for you right now are mostly D&D playlists that I've created for either games I was running or in, whichever. Although I think, yeah, this one is one of them too. Pretty sure. Yeah, it is. This was I created this playlist for a game I was running, and I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to just put Basil Geese in there. But the only reason I don't want to is like, oh, but what if I need this playlist again? I won't. But I still ask myself this question, and it makes me not want to do it. But maybe it would be a good idea, you know. Maybe we'll turn that into a stream game. And Basil Geese shows up, something happens. That might actually be fun. I'll have to. Yeah. Maybe I will actually figure out something of that. I think that could be kind of cool and fun. But I'm not going to happen anytime soon because I don't have the time or know-how to set up a cool event. Okay. I think... Yeah, let's take the sketches off. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely missing some, like, depth. We will jack that up a little bit. And go over some of all of this, make it a little thicker. It's a bad habit I have of just not of making these real spindly lines. Let's make some of this important stuff a little bolder. That should be good. This specific track is kind of funny because you can hear the person cutting out game noise from underneath the track because they weren't able to get a clean rip of it. Oh, right, I haven't done anything with the scales. Actually, I will go do the scales probably next time. But the thing with scales is that you generally, drawing each individual one is a waste of your time. Unless you're going for ultra realism, which I'm not going to because I don't have the energy. Or skill, but mostly energy. There we go. I don't like these ribs or those scales. Yeah. I may or may not tweak some things between the next stream and now, but I'm pretty happy to call that a day. Oh, I'm gonna catch up actually. Yeah, the Chip Stars gameplay. Oh wait, like an actual hunting video, or are you talking about the like reveal they did for New Year's? Oops, what did I just do? Oh god, okay. The Emperor's underwear, Rugops. How? Wait. Honestly, Sock Hunter or like something like that would be kind of like a funny. But I guess honestly, you can make it fully genuine. Like the way that Another Crab's Treasure is a Souls like. I think if we did something like that for like somebody who has to hunt down. Actually, yeah, that could totally work. You know, I'm assuming people here are familiar with the concept that a lot of Japanese yokai are objects that gain a soul when they're neglected for long enough, or they've just like been around long enough. Maybe if you were like, I don't know, a mouse who had to run around in like a person's house and slay like living object monsters, just like Sock Hunter, like oh my, like the first thing you fight is like, oh somebody's sock that they lost in the dryer like 30 years ago or something, and now it's gained a soul and it's back for revenge. That's kind of funny. I like that. Okay, that's done enough for now. Oh yeah, Sorrento Jiro, how dare you? Please give me attention and views and numbers. I love when those things go up. I can't believe that you would personally choose to betray me this way. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I guess this is another one where honestly, like, if none of these changes were made for Aptonoth, I would like if I took this to the actual Monster team and they outright said like, no, that's dumb. I'm actually like totally fine with that because I think Aptonoth is perfectly fine as it is. So. Like, a lot of these changes were made just in the interest of having something to change. Bennett, but you kill it. So I'm pretty good to call that the end of the stream. So thank you everybody who came out. Appreciate you, love you. Mwah, mwah. Bye bye.